Girl, so Basement Boy is back at it again. Ralph then clicked his button, child, and he out here shading Drew once again. But not only is he shading Drew, he's shading your castmate. Girl, he done threw Kelli under the bus. Yes, Kelli from Real Housewives of Atlanta. He done threw Kelli on the bus, and I kind of think he trying to shade Mel too. I don't know. It's giving sassy apocalypse. It was giving sassy apocalypse today, child, because outside of Ralph, and I'm gonna tell y'all what he had to say. He had the babies on her and everything, child. Ken and his little friend Will, Ken from Love and Marriage Huntsville, so they was on a podcast as well. I guess that's everybody's thing, just to do a podcast. I mean, I'm doing it, but that's just me. Anyway, and we know that Tisha started hers too, so we're gonna talk about that. These folks in their podcast, child. I also want to talk about Funky, because remember when we went live the other day, I was telling y'all how Funky had shaded Nene on the podcast with RHOA, right? So yesterday they dropped like the full episode, the part 2 of the podcast or whatever. Girl, and he, not only was he shading Nene, he was shading all of the Love and Hip Hop girls. Yandy, talking about he got a big zit kid. I'm gonna tell you. We also gonna talk about Karlie Red too. Did y'all hear that boy been knocking the Mario coins out of that girl, allegedly? I was like, oh my God. And we're gonna talk about Karlie. We'll talk about Karlie last. Anyway, welcome back, friend. Happy Sunday. I decided to do a pre-recorded because if Married to Medicine in Real Housewives of Atlanta is good, then maybe I'll do a live later on tonight, or maybe I'll wait till tomorrow while I'm at work. And we'll do a live, because there's a lot of stuff going on. And Sweet Tea and Simone got a whole they doing a whole episode on Sweet Tea channel cooking, shading Quad, talking about paying out Quad House. All the while in Quad House cooking on YouTube. I don't like Dr. Roger Rabbit. And Sweet Tea, the fact that you aligning with Simone after she dished your ass. And didn't they say that Sweet Tea pushed Simone? And that's why they was calling her aggressive? Girl, it's giving Simone ain't got no friends, because Dr. Heavenly been talking about Simone. She ain't got Quad, and she damn sure ain't got Dr. Jackie, because you know Dr. Jackie gonna roll with Dr. Heavenly at the end of the day. But we ain't even gonna talk about that today. We'll talk about that on the Married to Medicine reunion review, friends. So welcome back. Welcome back. Get you a little cocktail. Enjoy your little time. I'll put the timestamps in the bottom. Let's talk about this real quick though. So y'all know I subscribe to Ralph's YouTube channel just because I want to see what a 5'8" nigga got to say that live in the basement. You know what I'm saying? What more could you have to say? You live in your wife's basement after fucking up. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot to say, friend. So the episode is called Call Me Daddy in the Kitchen. Call you daddy in the kitchen, in the basement, where another woman, where your ex-wife lives? Girl, first of all, I didn't like this one, and I may be reading too much into this, y'all. I don't know. But I didn't like the fact that it was Call Me Daddy in the Kitchen, which gives a sexual connotation to it. And then he had his kids in the episode. I didn't like that. Because as soon as I heard and saw Call Me Daddy in the Kitchen, it gives sexual connotation to it. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Ralph was trying to come in there buff, sexy, like, yeah, no. Even though I'm in my ex-wife house, baby, I can still jiggle it down. Jiggle it, baby. But he had his kids in the episode, so I didn't like that. So at the beginning, he was in the basement, proudly in the basement, child. He was cooking with the daughter, Nana, I believe that's her name. And then later on in the episode, his son came down. And I thought exactly. So he was cooking on a hot plate, on a grill plate, which I don't know why. Mind you, the kitchen looked nice. We talking about him being a basement boy, but that basement might look really nice. I've seen some nice ass basements in Atlanta. St. Louis got basements too, but I noticed certain cities don't have really nice basements. Where y'all from? Do y'all have nice basements and shit? Exactly. Dallas really don't have a lot of houses like that with real nice basements. But I noticed Atlanta do, St. Louis do. I'm not sure about Chicago. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This was the tea, right? So first when I seen the kids and stuff, he was talking about how he looked for a place. But his attorney told him that, hey, if you move, it's going to be harder for you to even get partial custody. Your lawyer ain't tell you no shit like that. It is plenty of men who live separately from their wives who get partial custody. As long as you have a job and a stable source of income and you don't get some raggedy ass apartment in Cabrini Green, then you'll be okay. So your lawyer didn't tell you that. Don't put that lie on your lawyer. Just say you ain't have enough money. So he was like, yeah, so I'm just happy I can stay here because it don't make no sense paying all of the bills here and then going to get another place and paying all the bills. Basically trying to say, I want to let y'all hoes know that I pay all the bills. Okay, Ralph. But with him having the kids there and him saying, he also said that it was important for him to stay around because he wanted to make sure that it was a male figure around the house, because if he would have left and moved into his own place like any sensible human being with, you know, all of the right amount of chromosomes, then the moral of the story is he was saying he wanted to stay there so it'd be a man around the house because kids don't need to grow up without a man in the house. Which I agree with him on a certain point, but I know it's coming from a toxic masculinity viewpoint or whatever. And I told y'all when he first dropped his podcast, he said this is a space for men. So literally, this is one of those manosphere type of podcasts, and you can tell by his rhetoric, which I'm gonna tell y'all, that this is some toxic masculinity type of shit. And it's crazy because I notice a lot of men are leaning in to these types of red pill, that's what they call them, the red pill podcast, because they successful. Drake tried to do that, and that's how he lost a lot of his female audience. Anyway, girl, so then this was crazy though. This when he started talking shit. He was like, he was basically trying to be real positive. What I can say is, if he was depressed, which he said he was in a dark place, but now he's gotten out of that, he like did the healing or whatever. He was like, I'm grateful and I'm appreciative that the judge decided to let me stay in my basement because I'm, you know, just really grateful because most husbands can't do that. Then he said, come close, friend. Then this motherfucker said, this was way out of the blue. He said, yeah, I'm grateful that the judge allowed me to go stay in the basement because I ran into Kelli. I ran into Kelli's husband the other day and she got him arrested. She got him arrested and he don't even have that luxury. I said, what, bitch? Not your messy, tacky ass, Elmo looking ass nigga. Why the fuck did you bring Kelli into it? Now, we know on the show, we heard that Kelli told us, she was like, they was getting a divorce. He stole all of her money. The police were called. It got ugly. Kelli already told us a little bit of that. And I'm assuming throughout the season, all of this shit gonna roll out between her nasty divorce and her man. But the fact that Ralph messy, tacky ass decided to come on this podcast and try to blame Kelli like, oh, Kelli, because Kelli got her ex-husband locked up. We don't know what Kelli raggedy ass ex-husband then did to her. And the fact that she had to call the police and they got 4 girls, what do that tell you? That let me know that Ralph is always going to err on the side of the man and co-sign some bullshit. Then he went on to say, because we know this is Martell Bunchy Cat brother. I think they're Bunchy Cat brothers. I don't care what nobody say. Fight me. Fight me, friend. Exactly. Bye-bye. So then he went on to say, yeah, because women, this when he got in his bag. You could tell that Ralph was trying to be cute. And you know what I'm saying? Attract all of the girlies. And it's crazy because he's still going to attract some of them desperate pick-me type of bitches. Because I did kind of understand what he was saying about how men need to be in the house and yada, yada, yada. But this one, it got toxic. First of all, he was like, yeah, because I'm grateful that the judge let me be in the house. Because some dudes don't even get that luxury. Because Kelli got her man locked up. And he ain't got that. Yeah, and then they quick to call a man a deadbeat. But it's the women who take these men through court and make it so hard for a man that the man ends up giving up and starting a whole new family. But he was like, and I don't blame them, because what else you gonna do if a woman is making it hard for you in the court, but to just give up, you can have the kids and start another family. Child. Okay, I'm glad. Sorry, y'all. I'm glad that call didn't go through. Anyway, so he was like, he understand where the men coming from. If a woman taking you through a hard time in the court system, give up on raising your kids and being with your kids and just go start another family somewhere else. Shout out to Martell, bald-headed ass hoe. Don't that sound like Martell hoe? Do that sound like Martell hoe? Did he wanted full custody. Couldn't get full custody so he can get some child support. Did Drew tell us that Ralph is seeking child support? Absolutely. And I feel like him having those kids on this podcast episode was very tactical and manipulative and, what do they call it? I can't think of the word. Planned, calculated. It was very calculated. If he's seeking child support, especially during this time, are you trying to show the judge that, hey, while she's out running around Atlanta doing promo runs, which is work, Drew is doing work to provide for her family. This is how a narcissist could steer it. She's out running the streets and he has proof, you know, the pictures of Drew everywhere, radio stations with Dennis, yada, yada, yada. Your Honor, while she's out there doing that, I'm the primary parent for the kids. As you can see, I'm at the house with them a lot. They're on my podcast episode, cooking with me and everything. I would like 50-50 or full custody so Drew can pay me child support. It's a dirt. Y'all gotta, ladies, y'all, even not even just ladies, child. Y'all gotta watch out for these folks trying to come for your bag, especially if they mad that you left them, because Ralph is bitter that he did all of those things, talked to Drew like she was a damn fool, went down to Tampa, probably was popping Zick on the handstand, and now that the shit is all said and done, you're in the fucking basement still paying those bills, and Drew is out getting her career together. Not to mention, Ralph, girl, posted the other day, he does music. Mind you, he's talented. He plays the piano, but he had some artist named Glennis, which he was working with. I'm like, baby, if I'm Drew and I'm upstairs and I hear a grand piano downstairs and you working with another bitch on some music and we've been married this long and it took Dennis McKinley, the hot dog frog face man, to step in and get me a hit album, baby, when I tell you I'm flooding that basement, the basement will be flooded by the time. I'm sorry, I'm running over all of the sinks and all of the things. It's gonna be water coming down, raining on that grand piano like you in a 90s R&B video, baby. I swear to God. I swear to God, bitch. I swear to God, girl, he is doing everything that he can to get underneath Drew's skin. Then on top of that, so this, I know him and Martell going for the same playbook as far as like the kids is concerned. And then for him to say, I understand if you want to go and make another family. You hoe at, girl, y'all finna make me curse. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. You mean to tell me what type of weak ass man say, oh, I don't want to keep going through the courts. Forget my kids. I just start a new family somewhere else. We know that Martell done did everything under the sun and keep abusing the court's power. So he can go over there and start a new family with coleslaw. But I don't know if that's necessarily applicable because he don't want to claim that bitch. And I told you if Mel called, he gonna knock that baby over, knock coleslaw and run over Mel house. Baby, but then after that, he gonna say, yeah, these women be calling men deadbeat and take them through the ringer in court, out here trying to get men locked up and put in prison. You don't say ho. You don't say short ho. I told y'all, these little short men, I bet you all the Drew ex-boyfriends probably tall and fine. And she decided to get with one short midgety man. And look what happened. She ended up marrying him. He talking shit and talking about women want to get men locked up. Was that shout out to Melody? Or are you trying to shade my good Scorpio sister? Because at first I'm like, okay, well, he's shading Kelli, saying that Kelli trying to get him locked up. But the fact that I know you and Martell are best friends and Martell is going through a similar situation, he ain't living in the basement, which he probably would. Martell will probably be jumping up and down if he could live in the basement. That's why Ralph probably so appreciative. Like, shit, my best friend, he wish he could stay in the motherfucking basement. I'm happy as a motherfucker. Where the salmon? Exactly. So then I'm like, is that shade to you shading Kelli? Saying that she got that man locked up? We don't know what the fuck that ignorant ass man did to that girl. She said he stole all of her money out of her accounts, allegedly. And then you talking about women out here trying to get their men locked up. Baby, I know you ain't talking about that revenge P. I know you, because Martell got himself locked up. Martell got himself locked up. And now I see why they're friends, because this whole little podcast episode, Ralph was painting himself out to be the victim. Like, yeah, man, when you go through divorce, you hit rock bottom and shit be crazy. And these women want to, and all I want to do is take care of my kid. This is my grandma. Boy, fuck your grandma. You weren't saying that shit when you had Courtney in my face, bitch. Exactly. Girl, fuck Ralph. No, I'm sorry, friend. Let me wrap this up. Tell me what y'all think about Ralph. That's what he had going on his little YouTube podcast. Call me Daddy in the Kitchen. And if we calling you Daddy in the Kitchen, why is your kids in the kitchen? I don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that you threw Drew co-workers in it. What the fuck do Kelli got? Why is Kelli name in your mouth? If I'm Kelli, I'm calling Drew like, bitch, if you don't get your bitch ass husband off the motherfucking internet talking about my business, I'm finna drag that raggedy ass. I'm not even finna really go in on Drew because I like your album, Poo Poo, and I've been jamming. I've been jamming on the ones and twos, Drew. So I'm not finna really go in on your motherfucking ass. But Ralph is a problem. We thought Simon was a problem. And Ralph really rubs me the wrong way because he's very personable and likable. Kind of like Martell is. Remember Miss Kimmy, Miss Pick Me? Was, oh, he's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. And you see Martell and he dressed nice and he like, hey, that's Ralph gives off that same energy. Like, yeah, I just want to take care of my kids. And they're like, fuck you. Fuck Ninja Turtle and fuck Elmo. Exactly. And Ralph is Elmo. I think they Boonchie Cat brothers. And I think that they all get together and believe each other's lies and feed into all of the things. Anyway, friend. So don't go subscribe to his channel. I'll tell y'all what the fuck he said. Don't get this man no more clout. Because not only is he trying to drag Drew, but now you're going to try to get Drew into some bullshit with her co-workers. Because Kelli ain't got shit to do with this. And don't ever talk about my good sis Mel. Because I feel like you trying to shade Mel because you Boonchie Cat brothers with Martell and y'all like to squirt on. Sorry. On to the next subject. On to the next subject, friend. Let me shut up, child. So since we talking about misogyny, Ken ass, we know that Ken, old face, clout chasing ass from Love and Marriage Huntsville. So Ken, geriatric face ass and his little homeboy Will, I told y'all a while ago, they're starting this podcast called Too Wicked Podcast. So yesterday they dropped they were on as guests with a young lady by the name of Rayvon's Corner. I think it's Rayvon's Corner. So she had her episode 1 of her podcast. I'm not sure if she's from Huntsville or whatever. It was her and her friend, and it was about dating and relationships. It was about 20 minutes long. It was okay. So Ken and Will was on there. Of course, they plugged their new podcast. They said their first podcast episode is about sex. Oh, really? I'm not surprised. Exactly. It's giving Mario and Luigi on steroids talking about men and men shit. Because they answers during the conversation, it was giving the same misogynistic red pill vibes. They were talking about their biggest issue with women is they want resources way too fast. And the girl pointed out like, we could say the same about men. And I feel like a lot of men, they get an attitude, which he made the mention like, oh, she talking about her bills due and she da. I think it's come to a point where women are trying to beat men to the punch and ask them for something because we know y'all gonna ask for coochie. That's crazy. You don't want to wait to insinuate anything sexual, but you want me to wait to insinuate something financial. If you don't want a transactional relationship, don't try to pressure us into sex when we just met. We only went on 1 or 2 days. I only been on you for like a month or 2. I don't want to give my body up to you. I'm straight. Y'all the one that's pressed. That's what it's giving. Anyway, he was talking about how women want to discard the values of like traditional women, like cooking and cleaning and shit like their grandma, but want to uphold the values from a man, like providing for them financially and stuff, which I kind of agree with him. I totally agree with him as far as like that's concerned. I do feel like if a woman wants a man, hey, I'm not going 50-50, da, da, da. If you want to uphold those types of old school values, then I'm going to need you to do your part as far as those old school values. That's why when we was talking about Ready to Love and but Eddie, my man, my man Eddie from Ready to Love Philadelphia, when he was talking about he wanted a woman to cook and clean and do all of those things, I don't feel like that's a problem. Because if you come in with the expectations that this man is going to take care of everything financially, then you need, whatever his expectations is, you need to do. And it's not just money or sex or anything like that, but I'm sorry, if you say I want ice cream every day when I get off at 6 o'clock, and every day you come home and this nigga got an ice cream cone for you, if he say I want you to pussy pop on the handstand every day, you need to be up there on the handstand. You need to every day like clockwork. It's reciprocity. I'm sorry. So I kind of understood what he was saying with that. But then he was like, that's what makes women toxic. And he was like, if you want to act like a man, then I'm gonna start treating you like a man, and you not. I don't know. It started getting really toxic. It was along those lines, and it was funny to me because as far as I'm concerned, I always see Trish cooking and stuff. She was cooking for the holidays. I see her cooking on a regular. So who are you talking about? Are you talking about your ex? And since we talking about your ex, while you talking about all of this shit you want from a woman and all of this toxic shit, are we gonna talk about your toxic ass allegedly cheating on your ex-girlfriend with Trish, and then when she was gonna kick you out, you called Trish and move your shit right on into Trish's house? Is we gonna talk about that? Tell me if y'all gonna watch Ken and his and Luigi's y'all gonna watch Mario and Luigi's little podcast. It's called Too Wicked. They said their first episode is about sex. I told y'all about them muscle bound men. Sometimes they be airheads and they ain't got shit to offer but some muscles, and sometimes it don't. Have y'all ever messed with like a muscle bound dude? Like, you know, like a lot of muscles, like personal trainer type of dudes. I like them tall and skinny and lean. You know what I'm saying? But like them big ass muscles and them the steroid sisters. I don't know, y'all. I did once and it was so bad. It was so bad, friend. It was so bad. And when I went off on him, he was like, I could get mad hoes. Mad hoes is not. I was so mad when he was like, yeah, because I got mad hoes. I was like, bitch, you must be paying mad hoes. You got to pay mad hoes. Yeah, I know. Anyway. Speaking of podcast, child, I heard that Tisha starting her little mommy business. Is it what? Mommy business? Yeah, mommy business podcast. So after her curvaceous man put on his waist trainer. Anyway, no, listen. Let's get serious. So they had a women's expo or whatever, and Tisha was on there doing her mommy podcast. Wanda was on there with a flower shirt. A flower went wrong. Like, Wanda, watch my YouTube, girl. I'll show you how to do a flower right. You got to do a flower on the shoulder. You can't do flowers all over. Anyway, so are y'all gonna watch Tisha's mommy business podcast? Mind you, we know Tisha always copycatting. That's just what that bitch do. Libras, this on y'all. Tisha is a Libra. Carlos King is a Libra. I'm going to talk about him with Funky too. Y'all got to take this L, friend. Today is L day for Libras. Anyway, so we know that Tisha is a copycat ass bitch. But I'm not necessarily mad about mommy business as long as Tisha leans into the mommy more than business. Because I feel like Tisha shines in mommy mode. And I'm on her Instagram page or whatever, I feel like when Tisha try to be a boss and try to do business, real little T, if y'all want to invest, no, we don't want to invest, invest in a speech pathologist. Exactly. So I don't feel like Tisha excels in business. I feel like she excels in the mommy space. When I see like the videos and reels she posts of out just being a mommy, being funny with her kids and yada, 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 I feel like that's where Tisha, that's what she should lean into. Mind you, she been trying to get a damn sponsorship with Target since the beginning of time. I noticed she stopped doing that shit since that DEI shit, is that she ain't that stupid. But I feel like if she relaunches this mommy business podcast, and I'm assuming she go do it on her YouTube channel, are y'all gonna subscribe to Tisha YouTube channel? I feel like she should, like I said, focus in on dealing with teenagers, because I believe their son is getting ready to graduate high school or already did. Yeah, he took his graduation pictures. Dealing with young daughters, dealing with kids in high school, trying to manage dealing with a cheating, curvy man with the last name Scott. Whatever you're going to do, Tisha, lean into the family shit, and you're going to have to be honest for people to fuck with you. But don't lean into the business, because business is not your forte. Just a word of advice, ho. Anyway, let's talk about Funky and RHOA real quick. So, remember when I was talking about the whole Tasha K versus Funky, him talking about slapping her and all of this other shit, right? And then I pulled up the Armand clip, and Armand put his 2 cents in it. Mind you, it's been in the streets. I see some of the bigger content creators talking about it now. Shout out to me. Popcorn player. No, anyway. So Funky on his live the other day, because I told you I hadn't listened to him in a while, but now since I'm in tune with the tea, I was like, let me see what the fuck this nigga talking about. So he had like a live on Saturday, and he was like, what if I did like an impromptu down to the bar? He was like, hey, if you get in, I'll buy you your first drink. He called the girl from the bar. He was like, yeah, and that's just how I'm going to be doing it. If I'm traveling, I'm going to call, da, da, da. It was giving, if I'm going to be honest, friend, it was giving damage control. Because you just said that you was getting ready to slap the dog shit out of a female and you a whole man. So it was giving a little bit of damage control, like, hey, let me let the ladies know we can kick it, we can have fun, I'll buy everybody drinks. And I ain't mad at it. If that's what you want to do, I'm not going to clean glasses with you, because that's not what I do. But so he was talking about that or whatever. Mind you, yesterday also, the Raw Ali and Funky Dineva podcast part 2 episode dropped. I watched part 1, and then on like the preview, that was when he was shading Nene, or I think it was the end of part 1, or it was like a preview for part 2. Nevertheless, so I went down there and watched it, right? Which I'm not. Do y'all like Raw Ali? Y'all know who Raw Ali is? She used to run It's On Site. She was friends with Remy, then switched up, was Team Nicki Minaj. I'm not sure if they still friends. She had a fight with Sky. Sky beat her down in Black Ink, on Black Ink, the show. Anyway, so they were talking, right? First of all, Funky started talking about how he was a trick. He was like, yeah, I'm a trick. Sometimes it's easier to do that than actually dating people or courting people. He was like, when he in the club and he hanging out or whatever, he was like, I could spot a city girl from around the way, which a city girl, a male, you know, a boonchie cat, a person getting into boonchie cat behavior. Exactly. But he called him a city girl. And he was like, you know, I know what it takes. Like, hey, you can come with me. You can spend a night. I'll buy you some clothes. And he even had like a back and forth with her behind the scene producer. I was like, I wanted to see what the dude looked like. Was you fine? Because Funky was like, yeah, we could just buy you some clothes or we could go to the bar. So basically he was talking about how, hey, I'm a trick because sometimes it's easier. He was like, you can act like you all of that, but I can spot if you got a price. He was like, and everybody got a price. So just let me know your price and come on, get this $750. I said, Funky, you already paying $750 for a little sloppy topping? Exactly. I guess, child. And then he started talking about how he was packed. He was like, I'm packing. And he showed Ali. He like pulled it up on his phone and showed Ali a picture of his Zick. And I guess a video of his Zick. And he was like, no, I'm not just regular big. I'm like crazy big. Like a horse in a carriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I went to go see a man about a horse. That's what Funky was saying he was. I said, but then I was like, if Funky is holding like that, then why you gotta pay the girls? Why do you have to pay the girls to go home with you? I don't know. I don't know if that was TMI, but it was just a little, I was shocked. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe we should have just assumed that maybe Funky was a trick. If y'all had a lot of money, and then that's what I started thinking. Y'all know I'm a cougar. I'm not an Eartha Kitt type of cougar, exactly. But the young boys like me, and who am I to deny a six-pack? Who the fuck am I? Anyway, so, but if y'all was older and had a lot of money, and y'all just wanted somebody, because he like was like, yeah, if I see somebody and I'm like, ooh, I want you for the night. I've never been that cocky or aggressive. I think because I always have to know that a person wants me. So I've never been able to approach people. Like I think I approached somebody once and it ended in turmoil. And I was like, that's because that's, and I have brothers. I was just always taught aggressive women is not the thing. But maybe it's different between gay males. All of my best friends, my gay males, is that what the tea is with two gay males? Is that unattractive for you to be really aggressive? But one thing I will say, one of my best friends or whatever, he did used to always say that heterosexuals take sex a lot more serious than the gay community does. Mind you, I'm not saying all the gay community. I'm just trying to tell y'all about my little light-skinned prince-looking friend. That's what he used to say. And I can tell because when we was in the clubs or whatever, it'll just be like, you know, they'll just come up to him like, you know, can I slide on your name like corn on the cob? I don't know, child. Anyway, also, girl, so Ali started asking him, no, he started talking about Nene. And he said that, I hope Carlos King don't get mad at me. He said, I hope Carlos King don't get mad at me. But Carlos King is the one who told me that Nene has been relevant for this long because she always in drama. Carlos! Girl, I said, first of all, and then I was kind of like, I was side-eyeing Funky too, because didn't you just throw Oliver Twist under the bus? Now you throwing Carlos under the bus? And my whole thing is, are you throwing Carlos under the bus because Carlos is making waves in the YouTube streets and you want to simmer him down with the reality TV girlies or maybe fracture their relationship so he'll have less guests? You never really know. I don't know. But he was like, Nene only been relevant due to drama and she thrives in conflict. Like she dwells in conflict. I said, and like I told y'all, Nene is relevant because she's funny. She's funny. She's just a funny bitch. Exactly. Ooh, not a white refrigerator. That wasn't conflict. The ghetto, honey. That wasn't conflict. I could go on and on. Exactly. Kiyamora. I'm just saying. So I thought that was a little hate. But then she also said, she was like, okay, so let's talk about reality TV stars. She was like, what reality TV stars do you feel like their time is up and they need to hang it up? He said, all of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and the transplants from New York. I said, okay, Yandy. There was shade to Yandy. There was shade to Yandy. I'm sure of it. Exactly. But that's crazy though, because ain't he cool with Quad? And Quad is cool with Yandy. Quad was just at Yandy's birthday party. So I was like, what's that about? And he was like, she also asked him, who act nice in person but real shady and mean behind closed doors? He said Dr. Heavenly. I think we knew that. Exactly. She's a Scorpio. Exactly. I think we knew that Heavenly try to act nice, but she's shady and mean. When she get in that damn closet, we can tell that she's a mean bitch from hell. He also said all the Love and Hip Hop Miami cast can go. I was thinking, damn, you live in Miami. What? Do Bobby likes Trina Trick? Do y'all feel some type of way? That Funky said all of y'all need to sit it down and close it up. He also said that half of the Married to Medicine cast could go too. Who y'all think? Y'all think he talking about Sweet Tea now? Sweet Tea and Dr. Simone? Because you know he like Dr. Heavenly and Quad. Do y'all think he like Toya? I don't know. And then they asked him who was the worst celebrity or a celebrity that's held behind the scenes. And he said Miss Pat. He said Miss Pat was. Miss Pat from the Netflix special, the Miss Pat show. He said that he was working, I guess, and Miss Pat came in there like, I'm having a bad day. Give me some breakfast. Don't none of y'all dusty, dirty assholes better not say shit to me. Fuck what you heard and fuck what you stand for. And I was like, he said he would never work for Miss Pat again. And my whole thing is, what if she was PMSing and just having a bad day? But he did say that Tammy asked him to apologize to her. And he was like, nope, I'm never apologizing to that bitch. If BT don't want to work with me, I don't give a fuck about it because I'm not working with that bitch and she mean and rude. I'm wondering, was it just that instance? Or because Tammy works with her on the Miss Pat show? Or did your good sis Tammy tell you some other shit about Miss Pat from working with her? Because, you know, Tammy was also at the Down to the Bar in Houston with Funky. And he said that Tammy asked him to apologize to Miss Pat. I'm wondering, did Tammy tell you about how bad it was working with Miss Pat? And then when you experienced it yourself, that's why you feel so confident to talk shit about her? Because it couldn't be just based off your one experience with her that you like, I never worked with her. She the worst celebrity ever and all of the things. That was kind of weird. He did give Mona Scott King her props and said that she's the one who put him on first or whatever. They did put him on pause because he was talking shit about that show called Sorority Sisters when it came on and all of the things. So I thought it was a pretty good episode, minus him shading my good sis Nene. And I know he was shading Yandy and then throwing Carlos King under the bus. But Carlos King, come close. You a messy, tacky bitch too. Because let's not forget. When Carlos King first started out doing reality with the King, Nene was the first one. She was like one of the first ones, not the very first one, but she was one of the first ones to do an interview with him. And in her interview, I remember Nene told him, you need to start doing more in-person interviews. You need to have the people sitting down here with you and it'll be a different type of energy. And that episode was really successful. And after that, Carlos King, like, notice on all of his interviews, after that, he had the people in studio with him and they were sitting down like they were on a talk show. So, bitch, the audacity of you to be gossiping with Funky about me when, ho, I'm the one who kind of gave you the idea to help your podcast get to where it's at. Nene, you need to do that for your own podcast. Nene, if you knew what was good, you would go ahead and drag Carlos King in this next episode of your podcast. Because he don't give a fuck about you. Because he over here talking to Funky about you. And Funky spilling the tea on Ra Ali podcast. So if I'm Nene, I would go on my platform and drag the dog shit out of Carlos King. And talk about how he really is a messy, tacky bitch. Like a lot of his employees been saying he is. But whatever. What else? Tell me what y'all think about what Funky had to say. Do y'all think Funky is packing? Are you surprised that Funky is out here paying the boys to slob on his knob from time to time, allegedly? Anyway, let's talk about Karlie real quick and then I'm gonna be gone. Girl, so I'm not sure if y'all been watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, right? But Karlie is married. Now she's married to this boy named Tilo, right? Tilo is the owner of Now That's TV. Now That's TV is like a Zeus. It's like a Zeus network. I don't subscribe because that's just you gotta draw the line somewhere. I like a little ghetto ratchet shit from time to time, but I'm not watching Zeus and I'm not watching Now That's TV. Nevertheless, he's very young. He's the owner of Now That's TV. Karlie is like 20 years older than him almost, I think. We know she half 100. He hella old. But they got married on this season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I think they only been married for like a couple of months. Girl, so Tasha K posted. And I know a lot of y'all don't fuck with Tasha K. But she actually had the court documents and I looked it up. So on February the 21st of this year, the police were called to the residence. Karlie called the police, and this was like 7:30 p.m. She told them that he got mad at her because he thought she stayed out all night and punched her an open fist punch. No, was it open fist or closed fist? Because this would be closed fist, right? Anyway, and hit her in the chin. So he was arrested for simple battery, family violence. That's the charge. Simple battery, family violence. They said that they didn't observe any bruises on Karlie, but I'm assuming this is the next day after the incident because in a report, this what kind of fucked me up. In a report, Karlie said after the altercation occurred, they got in the bed and went to sleep. What, bitch? You got in the bed and laid next to a man that just socked you in the chin? Where they do that at? At the very least, I would have sprayed his eyeballs out. But to think that you could lay next to me and sleep, it's a blessing you didn't wake up with grits on your face. Girl, I don't know what's going on in Karlie's mind. I don't know if, like I said, when girls get older, they get desperate. I'm hoping that's not the case with her, but if this man hit you, Pooh, I don't know why you would go to bed with him. She said they ended up just going to bed that night. And I kind of feel sorry for Karlie because Karlie was with that dude, Arkansas Mo. That was her ex, and he was allegedly physical abusive to her. So and I think that's why she has like such an attachment with Jock, because she never alleged that Jock was physically abusive with her. But I've always wondered, what is it in certain women that always navigate to these toxic physical relationships like that? You know what I'm saying? I haven't been in a relationship like that myself, but I've always been like the rescue friend for my friends like that. And I noticed that when they get with new dudes, they'll tell them about those past relationships and what happened. And to me, it seems like you're just letting him know that you would deal with a man hitting on you. And eventually they're violent with them too. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a never ending pattern. I don't know. But this was the thing. So Tasha K posted it, right? And everybody was talking about it. The girl Bunny Rax got underneath Tasha post and was going off on Tasha because Bunny Rax is the one who originally posted. Bunny Rax is his ex-girlfriend. Remember, Bunny Rax was on the show and she was filming with Zell and she do music and Spice was going to be her manager and they was talking about how messy that was. Girl, so I go on Bunny Rax's page. Bunny Rax was the first one to post the arrest records and she was like, look at this karma. Karlie, just 4 months ago, what did she say? She said just 4 months ago, Karlie was trying to get a restraining order on her so that she won't be able to film on Love and Hip Hop. Who that sound like, getting a restraining order so you won't be able to film? Dr. Gregory Glasses. Exactly. But anyway, so then she goes on her, she was like, Yeah, so that's Karlie Korma. What type of low down tacky ass bitch is you to say that her getting punched in the face is her karma for getting you off of a show? It's giving you are a cloud chaser, even if Karlie was wrong. And bitch, was he beating your ass? Because if he just punching Karlie in the chin, was he whooping your ass? Mind you, Karlie seems like she get on his nerves and she irks your nerves. Karlie seems like that type of girl. But that don't warrant you putting your hands on that girl. You could just leave. You could just divorce her. You got money. He got money. He the owner of Now That's TV. I ain't like that. And I ain't like the girls in the comments talking about Karlie can't keep a man and what Karlie doing. I'm going to need y'all not to make excuses for a man putting his hands on a girl. I don't care how annoying Karlie is. Exactly. Anyway, friend, that's all I got. That's all I got. It was nice talking to y'all. Tell me if y'all gonna watch the reunion for Married to Medicine tonight. And of course, I'm gonna do my Real Housewives of Atlanta review. I'll probably do it on lunch. If I have time, I'll try to do it tonight. We'll see what the tea is, because it's a lot going on with the Married to Medicine girlies. And I want to see what Atlanta talking about. Girl, because Shamia is still shading Angela Oakley. To my the nose is mine. She did an interview and she kept talking shit. I know a lot of y'all love Shamia, but we'll see, child. We'll see. Anyway, love you, friend. Tell me what y'all think about Ralph hating ass, how he was shading Kelli. Was he shading Mel? Because we know he bosom buddies with Martell. Tell me what y'all think about Ken, Tisha, and Funky shading all of the girls. And Carlos King always is a mess, I guess. Anyway, make sure you comment. Y'all know I reply to all of my comments. Subscribe, like, and I'll talk to you later, friend. Bye.